Cap and gown orders will be passed out March 6th. You must have your fines paid in advance in order to receive your orders. You can see Ms. Kemp in the East office to pay your fines. However, if you have not ordered your cap and gown, you can still do so by going to www.jostens.com or by calling 800-567-8367.
The sophomore class is having a fundraiser at Panda Express in Champion Circle off of Highway 114 this Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You must present a paper flyer from the sophomore English classes, or you can show this image on your phone from Twitter.
Students from the UNT Biomedical Engineering Society will be here during Invest tomorrow in the STEM Commons room 613. They will be presenting on different focuses available in the biomedical engineering at UNT and answering any questions that you might have. All NHS students are welcome to come hear about this exciting program.
What does disco and the Salem witch trials have in common? They're both a part of this week's edition of Yesterday's News with Wesley.
Good morning, Texans, and welcome back to Yesterday's News. I've got the latest news, or should I say the latest olds, ready for you today. So let's get to our top stories. We open with the arrival of an ominous message whose contents would change the course of history. The year was 1917, and World War I had been raging in Europe for nearly 3 years, but so far the United States had managed to stay out of it. But all that changed when Germany, afraid the U.S. would join up with their enemies, proposed an alliance with Mexico, who would invade the states to keep them distracted from the war in Europe. Unfortunately for the Germans, however, a secret message describing this plan was intercepted by the Allies and was delivered to the president 101 years ago this week. The telegram was released to the public 3 days later, and in April, the U.S. officially entered World War I. This week also saw a massive landmark in the world of politics as the first African-American congressman was sworn into office. Hiram Revels was an ordained minister who served as a chaplain with the Union Army in the Civil War and helped recruit 2 free regiments to the Union cause. Revels was later elected to represent Mississippi in the Senate, ironically holding the same seat once held by Jefferson Davis, former leader of the Confederacy. Taking a sharp turn from progress to paranoia, we turn back the clock to 1692 for the beginning of the Salem witch trials. The trials began in the colonial village of Salem, Massachusetts, when 2 girls began experiencing mysterious fits. A doctor diagnosed the fits as the product of witchcraft. Remember, it was the 1600s, and what followed was mass hysteria as residents of Salem and other nearby towns rushed to accuse their neighbors of being witches. The panic only lasted about half a year, but in that time more than 200 people faced accusations. And finally, we shift our gaze to the entertainment world as Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive won the first Grammy Award for Best Disco Recording in 1980. But the award itself was not destined to survive very long. You see, while it had been popular in the 70s, disco was already on the way out by the time this award was given, and by 1981 it had become so unpopular that the award was removed altogether. This makes I Will Survive the winner of the first and last Grammy for its genre. And that's the way it was. Be sure to tune in again next week when we'll have a look at the presidency that only lasted a single month. But until then, Texans, thank you for watching this week's edition of Yesterday's News.
What an eventful week, but disco is still very much alive, at least to me. On another note, just across the street from Northwest is Will Pape's goat farm that keeps him and his brother busy. NHSTV reporter Jordan Throckmorton went out to see what actually takes place.
In FFA, you can join when you're at the age of 8 by showing animals such as goats, lambs, pigs, and steer. Cheapest being goat and most expensive being steer. If you win a showcase, you can earn a cash prize depending on the showcase you were in. This is Will Pape, Vice President of FFA. His love for FFA and ag go way beyond the average Joe.
Me and my brother, we started our own show goat operation. We have about 9 does that are bred.
Will said that in March, he is planning to have baby goats to sell to kids. That way they can find a passion in FFA like he did. He also has an idea in what he wants to see in the future of FFA.
I would like to see more people come out to our meetings through FFA and just get involved.
As Vice President, he earns high praise from his teacher, Mr. Cleveland.
I would say in class that Will Pape is definitely a leader, both in instruction as well as in initiating work.
After 3 years of being an FFA, Will Pape decided to become an ag teacher. The reason is very touching, since it has to do with his teacher, Mr. Cleveland.
And so him being here is kind of like my mentor. I look up to him, and so I wish I could be an ag teacher like him, because he's a really good one.
Mr. Cleveland is doing his part to transfer his knowledge to Will, so that Will can put it on a level from a peer instead of an instructor.
I like the idea that he took something that I potentially taught him and is going to later use that to pass on the knowledge and to really pass on the tradition of agriculture.
We all here at Northwest wish Will good luck and hopes that he can inspire his own students one day. For NHSTV, this is Jordan Throckmorton.
I think it's really cool how like the goat farm is within walking distance of the school, and most people have never seen it.
Yeah, now I want to go see the goats.
Let's go see.
Okay. Tune in tomorrow for some exciting news about our very own Sidekicks drill team.
Thanks for watching, Texans. This has been NHSTV Live.